Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the board chairperson of Ursb with the board members. This is now the high table is getting constituted. I can see the Registrar General of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, the chief strategist of what we are launching today. Most welcome. Thank you. May I kindly request you to stand for the anthems. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for the privilege to serve you in Ursb and in Uganda. As we gather here to launch the strategic plan for the forthcoming period, we ask you to give us that resilience we need so we can hit the road running and celebrate 5 years from now. We thank you for whoever has come. We pray this will be a joyous occasion. We pray this in your name. Amen. Let us take our seats. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are now fully constituted. The chief guest and representative of the permanent secretary and secretary to Treasury, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Mr. Moses Kagwa, the permanent secretary for Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Mr. Robert Kasande, that is our mother ministry, the representative of the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Karugaba Michael, the board chair of Ursb and members of the board, the representative of the Executive Director, National Planning Authority, Mr. Manzi Victor, the Administrator General, the representative of the Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, the CEO, Presidential Forum, Ms. Irene Virungi, as represented, the country resident representative for UNDP, the representative of the World Bank in Uganda, Her Worship Kamasanyo Gladys, the Chief Magistrate of the Standard Utilities and Wildlife Court, the Commissioner Civil Registration from NIRA, Mr. Vincent Katutsi, Mr. John Mary Chiwalabye, the Project Coordinator, former for SEDEP, that helped us acquire this property and many more things. The esteemed colleagues from JELOS, as the Registrar General will appropriately recognize you. The Registrar General of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, who is our chief host, the chief strategist, as we have called her, the owner of this baby that is born today, Ms. Maseke Kinovisho, and the members of senior management of Ursb, the chairperson of CASITA, Mr. Isa Sekito, and all the invited guests in your capacities. I salute you all, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you. You're very welcome. Please extend, I will request you just 1 minute, just welcome your neighbor, say you are welcome to Ursb. Yes, yes, thank you so much. In Africa, we welcome each other. I almost said welcome them in your local language, but we shall do that another time. Now, I already informed you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are having a brief program. May I take this opportunity to invite the Registrar General, the Chief Strategist, the owner of this plan, to make her remarks, and thereafter invite our board chair, Madam Araji.
Thank you very much, our MC, Mr. James Wasagami, who is the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Human Resource at Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Our chief guest, Mr. Moses Kagwa, representing the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the PS of the Ministry, Mr. Karugaba Michael, our board chair, the Right Honorable Ambassador Canon Francis Butajira, the board members of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, distinguished leaders in the public and private sector that have been recognized, the Administrator General of the Ministry of Justice, Mr. Manzi Victor, and the Executive Director, National Planning Authority, the CEO of the Presidential CEOs Forum, the country representative of the UNDP, the Director General of Uganda Investment Authority, the head of the State House Investors Protection Unit, the representatives of World Bank, the project coordinators of the Competitiveness Enterprise Development Project, Mr. John Chewalabi, the Commissioner Civil Registration at NIRA, Mr. Vincent Katutsi, Your Worship, or Her Worship, Kamasanyo Gladys, the Chief Magistrate, Standards and Utilities Court and Wildlife Court, the Senior Management of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, ladies and gentlemen, a good Chief Guest Assam, you are very welcome. You're not only the chief guest, but you're also a former member of the board of Uganda Registration Services Bureau. You saw it at the start. Let's appreciate him. The chief guest was also, I have to declare my interest, as also my lecturer at Makerere University, Revenue Law and Taxation, and I passed very well. And he's, I thank you for the great work that you continue to do in this country as a leader, as an expert, and as a lecturer, and many others. Our chief guest and the Right Honorable Chair of the Board of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and all invited guests, it's an honor to welcome you to this historic day that will enable us to unveil the fourth strategic plan of Uganda Registration Services Bureau, which is a roadmap that is going to guide us through the 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. For the last 2 months, we have internally been gearing up for this launch, and we had internal campaigns amongst us, the staff. We had competitions asking very interesting questions, including statistics, the historical journey of URSB, and over 185 staff participated out of 408. And yesterday, we came here and celebrated the milestones and those that won the competitions. We had close to 60 that won awards. And it was very interesting because most of these were online questions, and us in the back end, it was so interesting to see the interesting answers. So yesterday morning, as we gathered here as staff to celebrate internally the achievements of the last strategic plan, and also made commitments to do better in the next 5 years, we had a good moment and we launched the strategic plan internally. You might have seen already the media showcasing and wondered what was happening, but we decided that we first test our own meal before we serve it to the guests, and yesterday we tested the meal and it was so interesting. So today, as we launch this strategic plan to the external stakeholders or partners, we thank you for making time to share with us your time. And as we celebrate the milestones, we take off in a phase of the next 5 years where we want to see how we can position Uganda better as the best destination of doing a business. Looking back at the journey of URSB, yesterday during the discussions, I called upon staff that were here when we had the first strategic plan in 2011, 2012, and we were just the 4 of us. The 4 still remain standing. And it was interesting to share that journey, that this is the 4th strategic plan. And I assured the staff that we are not senior in terms of age, but experience. And it was so interesting to share experiences. We talked about the registries where we started from those days, and the spaces which we occupied. We were not here when URSB was at the Crane Chambers, but for us, we found URSB at Georgian House. That's where we joined the bus from. And we discussed how we handle the dusty files and even gotten used to that, but intact files from 1910, and they're still intact. We celebrated the people that kept these files. We celebrated the shells, and Madam STA of JELOS, Madam Rachel Odoi, and your Deputy STA, Mr. Wairagara. You recall that time, our budget, I think 90% of our budget was shelves, buying shelves to stock files. And these files were stored at the Georgian House, and they were occupying about 3 floors. And sometimes we'd make fun that these files sleep better than us. They sleep in Nakasero. For us, we are hidden somewhere in Chitukutwe and Chaluwajala and so on. It was part of the fun as we served. But today, as we celebrate the 4th strategic plan, we celebrate being in our own premises. I had our MC say, recognize the SEDEP project coordinator to have assisted us to procure this property. No, this was land. This was just land. And the vision of the board that time and the former Registrar General was that we have to have our own home. And We entered into a partnership with UIA because it owned this land. We had the money, they had the land. So that's why we share part of this facility with Uganda Investment Authority, and Capital Markets Authority also came in to contribute to the project. And we also have the Presidential CEOs Forum and partly NERA, because they are transitioning. The marriage registry was handed over to NERA in October last year under the RAPEX arrangement. And we are here as a government facility, but we also have a one-stop center that has all representatives in government service that deal with business registration and licensing. So this building was built by government of Uganda through a project that was supported and coordinated under the competitiveness enterprise. And Mr. John Chiwalabi, I saw you around, please. I thank you. I think every time you come to this facility, you remember the wars and the beautiful moments that we had, actually the experience that we had in terms of building this facility right from the ground, which has 4 levels, to 14 floors up. So it has 16, is it 16? Somebody remind me. 16 levels, yeah, 16-story building owned by government of Uganda. And we thank God for the government of Uganda. So when we reflect on that journey that now we are celebrating the strategic plan in our own home, we are putting pressure on JELOS and UIA to give us land to build an archival center. As you heard from my submissions, Ursb stores records from 1910, and these records by law cannot be destroyed. So if your grandparents, great-grandparents had companies registered, you'll be surprised that they are still on our register, and we've been encouraging people to upgrade them. So we celebrate the early beginnings of Ursb, and thanks to our board, our chair, and our board of directors that were visionary to see this dream come true. We thank you very much. So after that journey of the manual systems, our strategic plan did a digital shift where, yes, we had the files, we had to go into the scanning, the file sensors, the scanning processes, the indexing, and now we have all our records 100% digital. All our records digital in the system. You ask for any file, you will not hear those cases of many years ago of missing files. The police investigations would be here, the State House would be looking for files, the private sector would be looking for files, and somehow they would be misplaced, by the way, those missing files. They would be misplaced, and many of them were recovered during the scanning process and the digitization. Why? Because we depended on the human mind, and and human error was common, that instead of filing a certain file in a certain shelf you'd find it in another shelf. It was so interesting, the discoveries that we made. So as we celebrate that digital shift, moving from hard copy files to soft copy files that can be accessed by anyone in our system as long as we have paid a such fee, since we are commercial agents of government, we commit that it's going to be better. What a journey. That saw us launch the intellectual property, automated systems for intellectual property. That saw us launch the trademark front office for trademark registration from the start to the end. We have also a copyright online system from the start to the end in terms of application. For business registration, we have an online business registration system that from the start to the end, you don't have to physically come out to our offices. We have the online business, registration system for marriages that we handed over to NERA at the transition through the RAPEX. We have the online registration system for insolvency, and we have the online registration system for security interest in movable property. And all these signal Uganda's readiness to compete globally. We cannot promote competitiveness if we are not online, and this is what we have said. The strategic milestones have been so interesting. When I was going through the strategic plans from the first one to the second one to the third one, now to the fourth, you can see a journey of building institutional identity, then to driving reforms in the service expansion, then acceleration of digitization and strengthening of compliance, as well as deepening partnerships. And now we are looking at another bold statement regarding our strategic plan, how we can position Uganda as the best destination for doing business. The journey of service. Our progress is not just documents and systems that we have talked about. It is in the stories of the people, the clients, the users of our services, the businesses that we rescue, the businesses that we protect. That entrepreneur that is based in Arua, that has been enabled to register their business, maybe a small bakery, online, and they are now supplying supermarkets. That widow in the market that has been enabled to register their business name, and now they are legally protected. That innovator in Kampala who protected his trademark and innovation and now exports their products proudly outside Kampala, across border as a big Ugandan brand. That family in Gulu, whose company property was almost lost, but because of the dispute resolution mechanisms of Ursb, their property was secured. There are so many instances where we have impacted citizens, friends of Uganda, local investors and foreign investors. So we are not just managing statistics. We are not just managing paper. We are not just managing systems. We are managing livelihoods. We are managing wealth creation. We are managing security of documents through the efficient systems that you can call Ursb or get online or walk into our office anywhere in the world and you get served, because our processes are 100% online, but we are also in 6 regional establishments, but also in 47 municipalities of this country under the tax register expansion program. And the fact that we are fully online, so accessibility has been enabled, and this also contributes to the doing of business, because when you're talking of doing of business, you're looking at the cost of doing business, the time it takes, the process it takes, the documentation it takes, the signatures it takes, the persons it takes to sign one document. We moved from having documents stamped. Just one company would attract 105 stamps and go through all hands. But now you just apply and get your company within 2 hours. For documents, powers of attorney and contracts, you get them in 30 minutes. For certifications, they're instant, and you don't have to come to our offices as long as you access our data. What a shift. So this new plan helps us to look at many critical areas, how we can deepen the digital transformation, but also protect the gains that we have made, and taking services to every household. We are door to door. The last 2 years, we've been door to door. We're happy that the Ministry of Finance gave us funding, extended funding, for a project on mass registration. And we've been moving from door to door in terms of the business communities, getting people to register. Our findings, Mr. Chief Guest, is that foreigners who are operating these businesses are first to respond. Our Ugandans are in laxity. They are still slow in registration and taking registration decisions. But sometimes they are forced because they have to meet the requirements of the systems under which they supply and setting legacies for their businesses. So we are deepening the digital transformation. We want to strengthen compliance and governance to ensure that registered entities are not only born, but also thrive. It's one thing to register business, and it's another to see it thrive. So we have gone ahead to say, how can we sustain these businesses? How can we build business rescue mechanisms? And we started a business rescue aftercare program where we talk to companies, where to talk to businesses so that they don't fail. And those that are failing, we advise them on how they can survive. And those that have failed completely, we also advise them on how to legally close them. We have continued to expand our intellectual property. And we are not looking at the intellectual property registration, but also commercialization. How do we turn creativity into capital? Because this is not only intellectual property, it's intellectual capital. How do you encourage that young kid on the street who has developed an application, a software, like Facebook, like ChatGPT, to gain commercially from their work? How do you encourage that artist to write their song or their book and get it protected, no matter their age and their identity? And this is what we are trying to promote, that we want to see how we can increase the commercialization, how to turn creativity into capital. And there we'll be positioning Ursb as a driver for Uganda's economic transformation and contributing to the National Development Plan 4 and the vision of a modern and prosperous country. So, Mr. Chief Guest and Right Honorable Board Chair, we celebrate all this significance and the milestones that we have had as an institution. And we are committed to ensuring that we continue to transform this country, not only as a regulator, but as an institution that looks at development. But as a plan, it is strong in our hands. Implementation is another issue. And this is where my colleagues and I have had so many meetings. And yesterday, we made a commitment that this is our moment to continue delivering. And at this moment, I want to ask all staff from Ursb to stand up. That we made a commitment to our board, to our partners, to deliver. This is a great team that I serve with, a great team of young men and women that are committed to a government service. Thank you, colleagues. We made a commitment to deliver. We owned this plan because it was internally developed. I want to appreciate the team that was on the committee that internally developed this plan. Please stand up for recognition. We developed this plan internally, and we reminded ourselves, thank you, you may take your seats, we reminded ourselves of the journey when we used to use consultants, which we still respect, but we said, this is what we understand better. Let us put it together. And I think this is the third strategic plan that we are developing internally, if not the second one. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize the organizing committee headed by Commissioner Robert Mugabe that put up this act and yesterday's act. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you very much. You've done amazing work. You deserve the credit. So we are not just taking this commitment. We want to live this strategic plan daily and measure ourselves against its ambitions. And to our partners, the private sector, the public sector, the development community, as expected and as usual, we request you to work with us. We request you to challenge us. We request you to support us. The Ministry of Justice, our mother ministry, has supported us ably. The Ministry of Finance has supported us ably by providing the funding. And as my colleague, Mr. Baker Sewude, will summarize the achievements later, you'll see how much we have collected for the last 5 years. We collected close to 400 billion, and we achieved the commercial, the visibility, the location, the digital requirements of this nation as far as Ursb is concerned. So together we can make Uganda's business and intellectual property environment globally competitive. To the people of Uganda that we serve, this is a plan for you. Every registration, every trademark, every secured interest, every resolution of conflict is all to serve you. And the future rests in us who are running with this plan to ensure that we implement it. Ursb has come from far, as I already mentioned, but we are determined to go even further. So, and this strategic plan is a collective journey for us, one of service, one of transformation, and one of legacy. As we launch this plan today, let us re-energize ourselves, let us renew our commitments, and give the best to our country. I thank you very much, and I say this for God and my country. Now, Mr. Chief Guest, allow me now to invite our board chair, the Right Honorable Ambassador Francis Butajira, to make his remarks. Thank you very much.
Purchase your tracks today.
Our chief guest, Mr. Moses Kagwa, I'm personally happy to see you and to touch base again. You know, Kagwa was my board member. I was chairman of the board. He was my board member, very effective from finance. Glad to see you. You see, we are still consolidating what you said. Now, before, I'm not going to go through the protocol as outlined. I will just adopt what our RG has said. But let me thank our PS Minister of Justice, who has worked with us and achieved this journey. I would like, first of all, to introduce my board members, if you can stand up. Mr. Kajimu there, he's the only, you see, I and Kajimu are the only male people. You can see the board, they are all ladies. Now, he's a former mayor of Mukono and he's bidding to stand on DP ticket for Parliament. We congratulate you and wish you well. We have Lydia here from Ministry of Trade. We have Teresa from Ministry of Finance, Jackie from local government, and this one from private sector, Anna. Thank you very much. You can sit down. Now, as we launch this strategic plan and review what we have done and what we project to do, I would like to pay special tribute to the Registrar General, Masekino Wisho, and her staff, who have done a tremendous job. We have been able to achieve what she has outlined because of her dedication and her staff. And above all, the board, which has given strategic direction to the management. And we coexist very well, the board and the management. We know very well our sphere of operation, and we have left the board, the management, to do the work. We cannot do supervisory work. The board has now managed, we have given them latitude to implement. We are there overseeing and giving strategic direction. If we didn't have that approach, maybe we should not have achieved what we have done. Now, the theme of this new launch is to position Uganda as the best destination for business. How do we do that? First of all, we have to improve our internal mechanism, internal processes. And we have done that by automation, which she has outlined. To make it easier for anyone wanting to start a business in Uganda, to make it easier for him or her to do so. by simplifying our procedures, by automating our procedures. I think we are ranked one of the best performing agencies because of what we have done. So automation, and we are still continuing with this process. We are very desirous of setting up a very effective and modern data center here, employing modern tools like block technology. Employing other tools like cloud computing. We are trying to be modern and move and see how we can now, using artificial intelligence, set up a very effective data center. This is one of our ambitions, and I hope RG shall achieve that. Now, RG has mentioned mass registration of business. Again, let me also thank Minister of Finance, through you, Mr. Kagwa, for supporting us on that. We have not disappointed you. We have actually done it. So give us more investment money. We shall deliver. Now, that mass registration is really a change maker. We have been able to formalize informal business, bring them into the formal sector. And as you know, Mr. Kagwa, the economy cannot advance based on where most of the percentage is informal. We have to move from informal to formal. And we have been doing this. And the figures will show that we have done very well in this exercise. So as we consolidate on what we have achieved, we also want to project on what we should be doing. And I'm sure by completion of this new plan, we shall have achieved quite a lot in the field of automation and also in the field of improving our services. Another aspect, for instance, when an investor is looking for where to put his money, is, okay, you can invest here, but should things go wrong and he wants to pull out, how easy is it for him? And that's why we are trying to have improved our insolvency regime. With these few words, I want to commend you and want to thank you for our stakeholders for coming. Please, we shall work with you in this very wonderful journey. God bless you.
The permanent secretary.
Can I now invite our permanent secretary to give his remarks?
Purchase your tracks today.
The representative of the Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury, Mr. Kagwa, the board chair, and all board members here present. The Registrar General and your team, distinguished guests, members of the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. When citizens register business, when they protect their intellectual property or secure credit with their assets, they are not just completing a transaction. They are doing two things: exercising their right to justice and economic participation. That is why Ursb's new strategic plan that we launched today is more than a milestone. It is a justice sector victory for Uganda's development agenda. So therefore, for us at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, We are very proud to note that URSB's progress reflects the broader goals of our ministry to strengthen the rule of law, ensure access to justice, and also support inclusive development. For the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the URSB is not just a mere registration body, it's a strategic partner in building Uganda's competitiveness and attracting investment. Many people have come here and commended URSB. I will tell you it's an institution that we're very proud of. I recall not too long ago, we had some visitors and the head of public service decided to bring all permanent secretaries to this boardroom, and they showcased where they have been and where they are today. I don't know if it caused us a problem because the head of service said, going forward, this coming financial year, we must all show where we are as far as transitioning from analog to digital is concerned. But lucky for me, I think the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs was already ahead. But that goes to show that it's an institution that many institutions can benchmark on. I wish to commend the URSB's focus on legal and institutional reforms. Over the past 5 years, 90% of targeted reforms were completed, including amendments to the Companies Act, Chapter 106, Insolvency Act, Chapter 108. These reforms do more than modernize laws. They foster transparency, safeguard creditors and investors, and reinforce Uganda's position as a credible business destination. Therefore, this strategic plan 4 builds on this by embedding accountability through monitoring, risk management, and gender-responsive planning. This reflects the ministry's commitment to ensuring that justice sector institutions operate with integrity, inclusivity, and efficiency. The successful implementation of this plan that we launched today will depend on partnerships. Therefore, URSB must work with the government, development partners, and the private sector to mobilize resources. I must commit that the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs stands ready to provide the policy guidance that is required and advocacy to ensure that the URSB has the support it needs to realize its ambitions. Before I close, allow me to congratulate the Registrar General, the board, management, and staff of URSB for this very well prepared strategic plan. Once again, us as the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, we reaffirm our commitment to provide the policy leadership that is required for the success of strategic plan number 4. Together, let us use this strategic plan as a springboard for Uganda's socio-economic transformation. Once again, I thank you very much for God run my country. Allow me now to invite the chief guest representing the PSST, Mr. Kagwa.
I think I'll stand on the protocol already observed. Otherwise, I'll take another 10 minutes going through everybody, but I'll recognize the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and the board chairperson, and the other board members of URSB, the Registrar General and our staff, distinguished guests from the public and private sectors. Good morning. As you're aware, this financial year marks the implementation of the National Development Plan 4 and the 10-fold growth strategy. The strategy is a blueprint for rapidly expanding the Uganda's economy in a transformative, sustainable, and inclusive manner. The goal of the strategy is to grow the capacity of the country's economy to its double-digit growth potential. The strategy targets under this goal is to expand the country's GDP from nearly $50 billion in 2023 to $500 billion by 2040. In pursuit of the goal of growing the capacity of the country's economy to its double-digit growth potential, government has prioritized two outcomes: increasing returns from public investments, and that's why we are actually here talking about returns from investments we have put in Ursb, and competitively growing the share of the formal economy for a larger revenue base. Ursb plays a very, very important role in competitively growing the economy through the registration. And the aim of the tenfold growth strategy is, one, to rapidly expand the country's export market and tourism offering of exploratory experiences. Two, consolidate the country's human, financial, physical, and natural capital stocks for increased connectivity and capacity in international trade. Three, build a knowledge economy as a new source of economic growth based on technological advancements. And four, ultimately leverage the country's central continental location for its transformation into a competitive investment, trade, and tourism center in Africa, starting with the East African community. The operational objectives of the strategy are to increase budget effectiveness and efficiency, de-risk the economy for accelerated private investment, increase dividends from public enterprises as a share of government revenue, and four, grow the size and quality of the country's entrepreneurial class reflected in its vital registers: business register, investment register, export register, farmer register, and employees register. Expanding the size of Uganda's economy tenfold before 2040 is a bold and ambitious government undertaking, which calls for a fundamental and radical change in three aspects: strategic goal consensus on policy focus and targets, a relentless execution culture, and strengthened institutional and human capital. It implies A, doubling the size of the country's GDP every 5 years for the remaining three national development plans of Vision 2040. Two, raising per capita GDP sixfold from US dollars 1,081 in financial year 22-23 to about US dollars 7,000 in 2040. Three, doubling the level of savings in the economy from 20% of GDP in 2022 to 40% of GDP in 2040 in order to match the required level of investments, which is 40% of GDP. Four, rapidly growing the country's value-added exports from their base levels in 2022 using a triplet share principle of 50, 50, 50. That is, raising the share of exports in GDP from 12% to 50%, that of manufactured products in merchandise exports from 24.6% to 50%, and that of medium and high-tech products in manufactured products from 21% to 50%. E, rapidly increasing annual FDI inflows from US dollars 2.9 billion in 2022 to US dollars 50 billion. F, rapidly accumulating the stock and quality of human capital, that is the size of skilled labor force, physical capital, that is energy, railway, roads, air travel, and internet infrastructure. Natural capital, these are forests, swamps, rivers, and lakes. And financial capital, equity and debt, private sector credit. The tenfold growth strategy frames an action agenda for delivering exponential economic growth in Uganda based on 4 anchor areas for attaining a sustainable breakthrough into a new and higher economic frontier. These 4 anchor areas are referenced as ATMs. 1, agro-industrialization development. 2, tourism development. 3, mineral-based development, including oil and gas. And 4, science, technology, and ICT and innovation, and also including the creative industry, which we call the knowledge economy. The building blocks of the ATMs are threefold: a traditional economy, a new economy, and enablers, such as infrastructure, security, human capital, standards, and law and order. Successful execution of this strategy calls for an equally bold, focused, and unified policy agenda that is clear to the population, measurable across the different levels of government, and for which implementers are accountable as individuals and teams. It therefore gives me great pleasure to join you at the launch of the Uganda Registration Services Bureau Strategic Plan 4. We are also at the national level on Plan 4. This is more than a Ursb event. It's a national milestone, because a vibrant registration system is the backbone of private sector growth, job creation, and formalization, the very pillars of our national transformation agenda. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development sees Ursb as a strategic partner in economic management. Registration services are not a side issue. They are central to 1, formalization of businesses, which broadens the tax base and strengthens Uganda's fiscal space. Currently, the size of our informal sector stands at 54%. The total number of non-individuals registered with URA stands at 254,514. Yet, there are about 400,000 companies and 400,000 partnerships which are listed with Ursb. So you can see where we are. We had a case. We introduced a small business recovery fund of 200 billion shillings, where I wanted to help businesses that had suffered during COVID to recover. And we had a very interesting case of a very known kindergarten that sought to go and borrow to take advantage of the Small Business Recovery Fund. But then when they went to the bank, it was discovered that it was not formal. It had never been registered with Ursb. And yet it was very, very famous. So this informality is an area that we are going to look at. 2, investment climate reforms, which reduce the cost and time of doing business. 3, innovation and intellectual property protection. Because in our ATMs, we've talked about science, technology, and innovation, and we're talking about innovation, which is going to come, and innovation has to be protected. So as we are looking to the tenfold growth strategy, we see a very strong partnership and a collaboration with Ursb in ensuring intellectual property protection. And this will be opening new doors for Uganda's competitiveness in a globalized economy. And 4, financial inclusion, where Simple allows farmers, youth, and women to access credit through movable property. This is also one area that private sector in Uganda has pointed out, lack of access to affordable credit, and a lot of this is a lot of it is attributed to lack of security, that people don't have securities, therefore they cannot borrow. But this, with what Ursb is doing, we think more people are going to have access for credit. When these pieces come together, they make our economy stronger, more inclusive, and more resilient. Permit me to commend Ursb leadership and staff for the progress achieved under the previous strategic plan. Non-tax revenue collections have been increasing each financial year, supporting the government's domestic revenue mobilization strategy. Around 90% of services are now available online, marking a remarkable digital transformation and enhances transparency and saves time for businesses. Reforms to company and insolvency laws contributed to Uganda's removal from the Financial Action Task Force grey list, boosting our global credibility. We are no longer on the grey list, and thanks to the efforts that were done by Ursb. And importantly, the Bureau is reaching citizens across regions, demonstrating that access to registration is no longer confined to Kampala. The new strategic plans align seamlessly with the fourth National Development Plan, NDP4, and Vision 2040. Its 5 objectives, from expanding access to services, to strengthening the legal framework, to supporting innovation, mirror national priorities of industrialization, private sector development, and job creation. This is why the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development considers this plan not only relevant but essential. The Uganda shillings 552.78 billion resources framework laid out in the plan must be matched with both disciplined implementation and strategic revenue mobilization. The ministry will support Ursb to secure adequate funding while also encouraging innovation in non-tax revenue collection and partnership with revenue partners. Distinguished guests, implementation will succeed only if we work together. Government will ensure an enabling policy and financing environment. The private sector must seize the opportunities of formalization, innovation, and intellectual property protection. Development partners should continue to provide technical and financial support to accelerate digitalization and institutional strengthening. Citizens, especially women, youth, and entrepreneurs, must embrace registration because it's the gateway to markets, finance, and protection. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as we launch this plan, let us remember that Uganda's journey to achieving the tenfold growth strategy by 2040 will not be realized through policy documents alone. So, it will be realized when every farmer, every trader, every innovator, and artist can say, I registered, I was recognized, and I grew. On behalf of the ministry, I congratulate Ursb on this bold and ambitious plan. We pledge our full support as we implement it. Let us embark on this journey together to truly position Uganda as the premier destination for business. For God and my country, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate the PSST. And the chief guest, I dare say that the money is here. You know, he said the money will come, but now that you have said it here, the money is here. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the speeches. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are now going to the next item on agenda. and that is getting highlights from the strategic plan. So before we cut the ribbon, the Assistant Commissioner Policy and Planning is going to come and take us through the highlights. And Chief Guest, the organizing committee said they don't want you to keep twisting your neck. So we are just making a few amendments to the sitting, just for purposes of you following what will be presented. I beg your indulgence that we move briefly. Thank you. Thank you. Let us clap for them. Let us clap for them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the flexibility. We know now you will follow very, very clearly. We will continue to recognize other guests as we go along, but without wasting time, Chief Guest, permit me to invite Mr. Beka Sebudde, Alhaji Beka Sebudde, to come and give us a presentation of the strategic direction.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, MC. I stand on the protocol established. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Beka Sebudde. I'm the Assistant Commissioner, Policy and Planning. I thank the Registrar General for letting me present on her behalf. You know, she's the chief strategist. The only task I had was to look for my best suit, which I did. Good enough, and it is just here, so I can go for a second wedding. So briefly, I'm going to highlight where we are coming from and where we are going. Most of the things have been said. I'm just going to provide statistics, and I'll let the MC take the next session. So basically, these are the important questions. Where are we coming from? What lessons, what achievements have we made in the previous strategic plan period, 2020, 2021 to 24-25? Because if you understand where you are coming from, it is easy for you to know where you are going. And then the next question is, where are we going? What strategic direction have we set ourselves to? So basically, this is the gist of the whole presentation. This is where we've come from. The chief guest has hinted about NTR collections, the need to finance activities, and so on. We have a big role to play as Uganda Legislation Services Bureau. And you can see in the previous financial strategic plan period, we collected 312 billion, meaning that the set target, our performance was at 98. Normally 98 is a distinction 1, right? So basically we got a distinction 1 in terms of NTR collections. And in 2022-23, that was our peak. We collected 77.14. So I know my colleagues from URA, normally they talk trillions. Let us talk our billions as well. In terms of trend, this is where we've come from. We started at 7.51 billion in 2011-2012. You can see we've been growing. That's what they call a steady growth. If you see this curve, we are going to grow. Next year, we hope to collect more. We have a big role to play regarding private sector growth, especially registrations. And we've been growing regarding registrations. For example, to give you a snapshot here, you can see new companies. If you look at the previous 5 years compared to the period before, 2015-16 to 2019-20, the registrations increased by 19.5%. The legal documents increased by 100%. I'm going to skip the negatives, but they are just one. So you can see that we've been growing in terms of registrations. And before the transfer of civil registration, I'm glad the commission is here. We had done a wonderful job, so we laid the foundation. And I know they are going to register more marriages. In terms of IP, we are talking about innovation. For example, you can see the local trademark registrations increased from by 38% if you compare the 5-year period in the previous strategic plan compared to 2015-16. We registered our first geographical indication. Uganda is an agrarian economy. But then we have potatoes in Kabale, we have coffee, we have what, and so on. Last strategic plan period, we managed to register the first geographical indication in Uganda. It helps to market our products. So we believe we can do more as well in that line. We've done a lot regarding decentralization. The chief strategist, the registrar general, the board chair, they've hinted on automation. But remember, as we automate, we also need to be mindful of the country, the setup. People sometimes need to be handheld. So in the previous period, 5 years, we managed to expand our coverage to 2 regional centers in Masaka City, as well as the Albertine region. In essence, we have 6 regional offices across the country. In addition, we also have our marriage with the Uganda Revenue Authority. URA, is it an abusive marriage? It's not an abusive marriage. Okay, I can attest to that. So we have that marriage with URA, Ministry of Local Government, as well as KCCA. And in this, we have 47 centers across the country. These are vehicles to help us get to the underserved places, reach every corner of the country. And we believe that we are going to expand our coverage to more centers. Automation. We've been talking about, and the chief guest has hinted about access to credit. That is very important. We have that platform, the security interest in movable property registry, whereby lenders can provide the credit, people can utilize their movable property to get access to credit. So for us, our role is to facilitate the process. And what we did was to automate our system with the one of Ministry of Works and Transport, such that it can be a very seamless process regarding use of motor vehicle caveats and lodging caveats to access credit. And this is something we want to even pursue in the next financial year, rather than the next 5 years, so that people can get access to credit. The online business registration system, we are simplifying our processes. Somebody in the audience, you can try lodging an application right now. Trust me, in the next 10 minutes, you get feedback. That is how we've automated our systems, the online business registration system. We've integrated with others. So that is something we've done. We are proud of that because our role is to basically facilitate, make it as easy as possible for people to get the services. We have done the same for trademark, the trademark front office, the digital register for insolvency practitioners. There are some other automations we've done in the field of civil registration. But because they decided to move to NIDA, I also decided to skip that automation here. Key legal reforms. The PS Minister of Justice has hinted about the legal reforms. And indeed, this is something that we've done in the past 5 years. 90% of the legal reforms were completed. For example, amendment of the Companies Act, Insolvency Act, the Partnership. Also, the Uganda Registration Services Bureau was also amended to transfer the marriage registration function to NIDA. The copyright as well. So this is something that we take seriously because we know strengthening the legal framework is part and parcel of what we do, and ideally it helps in streamlining service delivery. The other key achievements, Chief Guest has talked about the removal from the grey list. What does it mean? If you had remained on the grey list and probably gone on the black list, red list, from grey you go to black. Okay. From grey would have gone to black. That would have meant not using your visa card if you move out of the country. And I know we always go out of the country. So that is the implication for a layman like me, like you. It would have meant not using that. So reforms were undertaken. Uganda was defended and we were removed from the grey list. Then strategic partnerships. This is something that has been key for us. We have our partners in the public sector, private sector, development partners. So we've managed to, at different levels, the regional level, international level, global level, the achievements we've achieved have been anchored on the productive partnerships that we've had with various stakeholders. Innovation is part and parcel of what we've done. For example, the Technology Innovation Support Centers, the number is now at 37. In the previous 5 years, we increased this by 7. The whole idea is to provide support to these centers to support research, support innovation, support commercialization, because like I said, we have to enable businesses achieve the innovation, achieve registration and formalization. We've talked about the mass business registration. We want to take our services closer to people, and this is something that we've been doing. We thank the Ursb board, the chief strategist, the Registrar General, as well as our partners for giving us the funds and enabling us implement all these interventions. So we've done a lot in this space, and we are taking services closer to people. Movement into our permanent premises, the Uganda Business Facilitation Center, we are here. We no longer go to hotels for such events because we have a home. And this was something that was done in the previous period. We also issued the first geographic indication certificate. We still have more potential to register other geographic indication because, like I mentioned, we are largely an agrarian economy. At the base of it, staff are very important for any entity, and a lot has been done. For example, implementation of the graduate training program to offer opportunities to young graduates to come and get the much needed skills. This is something that we've done. The mentorship program, the implementation of a harmonized staff structure. So a lot has been done in these spaces because we believe staff that the bloodline of the organization. Ursb has been recognized, and I can say without fear of contradiction that we've been recognized. People have come here for benchmark. If I was to put all the words here, probably I would have used like 16 slides just to show the recognition. But I decided to become, how do they call it? Okay, that word, you know, I decided to become humble. Yes, humble, that's the word I was looking for. But for example, you know, Kampala State Traders Association, normally they use carrot and stick, but they mostly use stick. So if you see that you've been recognized by Kasita and the chair is here, just know that you are doing something good. So Ursb, the Registrar General was honored as the 2024 Outstanding Public Office of the Year. Non-so chair has accepted. Okay. So all these are recognitions. Our partners have given us awards. We have had benchmarks and so on. And we believe we are going to take it a notch higher. The moment you see you are in competition with the Ursb, just know that we are going to bring that award home. In other words, don't compete. Where are we going? We've seen where we're coming from, some of the achievements we've had in the previous 5 years. But then where are we going? What is in the strategic plan? You know, whenever I talk about the strategic plan, people think, you know, these papers, things that are hard. Now for us, what we've done the reading for you and then summarized it for you. So this is what I'm going to present. First of all, our vision, we want to be a center of excellence in providing registration services for business facilitation. Our aspiration, that's where we want to be. Business facilitation, at the end of the day, businesses should be in our mind. The private sector, the public. Then the mission is to provide secure, efficient, and innovative registration services. It's the reason why we come to work on a daily basis, to exactly do that. And in whatever we do, that will be at the core. The staff and everyone. That's what we do as Ursb, and that's what defines us. These are the strategic objectives: access and quality of registration services. The issue of access, that's why we are taking mobile clinics, expanding, and then also the quality. That's very important for us. Communication and awareness is the reason why we're in the community mobilization sub-program, because we believe we can change the mindset as well as create awareness about our services. The legal and institutional framework, we've talked about this: innovation, creativity, and competitiveness, a sustainable infrastructure to support service delivery. So these are the 5 core objectives that we are going to pursue in the next 5 years. And we believe once we do that, we shall achieve our vision and also make Uganda, position Uganda as the best destination for doing business. What defines us is customer-centric. We are customer-centric. For example, I know there is a person who saw me when I had just come from school, who mentored me, Mayra, Assistant Commissioner, Tax Education, URA. You remember that young boy who was customer-centric? I am now more customer-centric because of Ursb. It's our core value. Then professionalism, we are professional. Even when we are talking, just imagine the way I'm talking, I'm professional. Not so. Integrity is our key core value. It's what defines us. Even if no one is there, we shall always do the right thing. That is us. That's how we are defined. The teamwork. Just imagine they mentioned the committee that has developed the strategic plan. And the committee was headed by the Deputy Registrar General. The deputy was the Commissioner ICT. Now that is the teamwork we are talking about, and that's what defines us. Accountability, we are always accountable. And I can say Minister of Finance, we are always the first people to submit the program-based budgeting report on a quarterly basis. With non-compliance, that can't be Ursb. We are always accountable to government and the private sector. Our theme, like we said, is positioning Uganda as the best destination for doing business. Where do we stand in terms of the national framework? Because we believe whatever we do has to feed into the country. That's the bigger picture. Where do we fit into the bigger picture? For example, we know that Vision 2040 emphasizes strengthening institutional frameworks, enhancing competitiveness, promoting innovation and industrialization, and deepening good governance. And we believe we have a contribution to make in the next 5 years regarding our journey towards the Vision 2040. For example, we are going to foster a robust private sector through business, intellectual property, and sexual transaction registration services. Our services are going to become enablers to private sector growth, and we believe this is a ticket to achieving Vision 2040. Then promoting formalization and growth of enterprises. Expanding Uganda's tax base is going to help us expand the tax base as well as contribute to inclusive economic development. The chief guest has been talking about the 10 growth strategy, and this is something that is going to help us as a country. Innovation and creativity, protecting intellectual property rights. This is in line with the call for knowledge-based economy. People have to register their intellectual properties, and this is something we are going to focus on and contribute to as an entity. Enhance access to credit for micro, small, and medium enterprises. We have the security interest in immovable property registry, and it provides a platform for people to access credit. And this is something we are going to emphasize, create awareness, and so on, such that Ugandans can access credit and improve their welfare. How do we link to the National Development Plan 4? We received the certificate of compliance from National Planning Authority, but it wasn't because we have our Commissioner Planning who has the people skills like to interact with National Planning Authority. It was because we linked our strategy to the development agenda of the country, the National Development Plan 4, and that's how we got the certificate. And this is how we are going to contribute. For example, agro-industrialization. It has been mentioned in the 10-fold growth strategy, Vision 2040, and this is a key program where we contribute. And how are we going to contribute? Through increased export value of priority agricultural commodities. The geographic indications I've been talking about, they increase the value of our products. They make our products more marketable. And that is something we are going to pursue through the agro-industrialization program. We have the manufacturing program, and that is the intermediate outcome that we adopted. And here we have a lot to do regarding the trademarks, regarding protection of protection against infringement on property rights. So these are some of the initiatives we are going to implement regarding that program. We have the private sector development program. And here we want to enhance survival of micro, small, and medium enterprises. That's why we have the aftercare program, the business rescue frameworks. Those are some of the interventions we have, but the whole idea is to enhance private sector growth. Reduce time and cost of doing business. How do we do it? By simplifying our processes, by automating, by making it as easy as possible for people to transact with Ursb. And that's the only way we are going to position Uganda as the best destination of doing business. The human capital development, specifically community mobilization and mindset change, that is our contribution. Because we know here the population can participate in the development initiatives. What is it in for somebody if you tell them to register? Those are the kinds of awareness interventions we want to execute in the next 5 years, say that everyone knows that it is beneficial for them to register their businesses, beneficial for them to register their intellectual property. And that's something we're going to focus on under that program of human capital, because we believe the mindset can still change. The competitiveness in terms of the Ugandan culture, the creative. We have a department of copyright and neighboring rights, and we believe there is a lot of potential regarding the creatives. So that is something we're also going to focus on, especially under community mobilization and mindset change program. Then you have the program of innovation, technology development and transfer. And here we are talking about increased skills in science, technology, collaboration, innovation and commercialization, the IP registrations. Whatever we are going to do is going to speak to this aspect of the National Development Plan 4. Then governance and security, where we have the policy, legal institutional environment, access to justice, institutional capacity. So these are the 6 programs which are going to contribute to, and we believe we are going to create impact to the public, to the Ugandans in the next 5 years as we pursue the different objectives we have under these programs. These are some of the examples of the interventions. For example, support entrepreneurs and innovation by establishing the Innovation Hub. We want to strengthen the technology innovation support centers. I've spoken to this. Expand access to credit. This is very important. Credit is important to the private sector. Value addition, when it comes to geographic indications, the traditional knowledge. Accelerate digitalization by automating processes, integrating systems with the ones of our partners, by re-engineering services, removing redundant processes, and so on. Then strengthen governance and compliance. We want to empower communities and creative through awareness campaigns, civic education, support for culture and enterprise and creative enterprises. And then at the base of it all, we shall improve our institutional capacity. Because if you don't have the capacity, there's no way that you can offer the services to the public. And that's why we want to strengthen our capacity internally, such that we give the best experiences to our public. Why don't I conclude? At least everyone at least knows an intervention here and there, and what we are going to do in the next 5 years. And that was the objective, the assignment that I had, that at least everyone, the key performance indicator, everyone will tell us one intervention as they move out. Was that the key KPI? Okay. In conclusion, our strategic plan is a national commitment. We are committing. Yesterday we committed internally, today we are committing externally, before the PSST and all other dignitaries here, that we are going to formalize. We are going to enhance innovation. We are going to enhance private sector growth. That's our commitment in the strategic plan. Strategic partnerships will be key as we position Uganda as the best destination for doing business. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Becca. I think he did well, and he's very smart. I think he deserves a hand clap. Chief guest, you now have an appreciation of what you're going to launch. That is it. Shows where we came from and where we are heading. And the organizing committee is going to make a few rearrangements. But when you are in URSB, our leader has already taken us a certain direction that we can't move back. We have gone digital. So there is something going to appear on the screen as we do the changes. We want you to look at it and give us your feedback. Just briefly, you're going to see guidelines as the team begins to work on the reorganization. Now, the Registrar General has whispered to me very loudly that she's so honored to host all of you. Thank you for coming. And she said further, because URSB has a lot of traffic, we are always doing something, and you keep coming. Thank you for always coming. Now, we want to recognize one more time. We have, according to the attendance list, we have participants from the office of the DPP. You're most welcome. We have participants from the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. You're most welcome. I'm told we have Mr. Dison B. Okumu from the Institute of Corporate Governance, Uganda. You're most welcome. We have Mr. Katushabe Winston, Minister of Works and Transport. You're most welcome. We have Mr. Medi Kagwa, from the Uganda Communications Commission. You're most welcome. We have participants from the National Planning Authority. We are delighted to have you here. The Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Your presence is highly appreciated. We have the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. National Bureau of Standards. the UNBS. I think everywhere. Thank you so much for coming. I think we have met the standards. Thank you so much. We are grateful for your humility to sit over there. Thank you. We have participation from the Uganda Revenue Authority. Chief guest, these people are very humble. They are waiting. They have heard. They now know where to place the nets. And we are happy to have you. We have representation from Uganda Small Scale Industries Association. You're most welcome. The Insurance Regulatory Authority, you're very, very, very welcome. Ursb is largely a legal entity, so whenever we have lawyers come through, we give them the due honor to them. So we have Max Advocates. You are very welcome. We have CATS Advocates. You're very welcome. According to my list here, we have Council Fred Moema with us, according to our registration. Very, very welcome. Ursb works with the business community. We have Equity Bank represented. United Bank of Africa is also here. And earlier on, I saw the managing director or CEO of the New Vision Group. He was seated around there. I think he could have stepped out. And Mr. P.S. Kasande, your undersecretary, was here at some point. I think, I don't know whether he stepped out. We have Madame Kasigwa, but we shall have that session for the photo moment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome. I like the fact that you're already giving us feedback. You just log on to slido.com or scan the QR code. And board chair, I think you can see feedback from these wonderful people. They are saying the strategic plan, Ursb, is responsive. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We are responsive, innovative. Thank you so much. Ursb people, this is appraisal. It's time to clap and appreciate. They are giving us feedback. They are saying we are efficient. They're saying we are brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you so much. You people, they are saying you are brilliant. Thank you so much. We are world class. That is, everything now ends there. We are world class. Thank you so much. May I now request that the chief guest now steps forward. The organizer committee make sure the facilities for cutting is all ready. Chief guest with the board chair, the way you were, you'll be joined by the members of the board to officially unveil. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we did it yesterday. We shall do it again today. This is a 5-year strategic plan. Yes, thank you. For us, we start by celebrating because we know by God's grace we shall achieve it. So what we're going to do, we're going to celebrate by celebrating every year the achievements we shall make. We know we shall cut this year by year. When everything is ready, the scissors, when everything is ready, would like to proceed. And ladies and gentlemen in the background, you're going to help me to count. We are going to start counting from 2025. When we reach 2030, we cut the ribbon. So let's go on. Let's start. Number 1, 2025. 26, 2027, 2028, 2029, and finally, thank you very much. Thank you. This is a historic moment. Thank you. And the members on the podium will now proceed to append their signatures as proof of what they have done. Thank you. The chief guest has said, let me remove everything. Thank you. That is the best way to go. We are very grateful. So he will proceed and append his signature. This is a symbolic moment. The board chair will append his signature, the permanent secretary justice, and all those who are in front here. The Registrar General URSB will append it on behalf of the staff of URSB as our commitment. Very summarized. Not so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we are going to display the QR code that you can scan and receive a copy of the strategic plan. So, thank you so much, RG. Congratulations. This is a big milestone. Thank you so much. Thank you. We also have the CEO of the Uganda Bankers Association, Mr. Wilbrod Owor. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Purchase your tracks today.
Now, we have very critical partners from Justice, Law and Order sector, JELOS. They have really been there for us. We have Madam Owor and Mr. Wairagala. You are very, very welcome. Odoi, Madam Odoi, my apologies. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. And Dennis and Isaac, you will now guide us. We want to first take the photo of whoever is here. Those who are on the podium right now will take the first photo. The rest of us, for this photo to remain historical, we just smile. We smile at the camera.
Purchase your tracks today.
Now let's be joined by partners, and I'll proceed to read them. Capital Markets Authority to join this wonderful team.
Purchase your tracks today.
May I read the partners who are going to support us? And among them we have JELOS. I request that you step forward and join in this historical photo. SEDEP, Uganda Investment Authority, Capital Markets Authority, Uganda Revenue Authority, Minister of Local Government. Please join in taking the group photo.
Purchase your tracks today.
Kasita, Mr. Sekito, please come and join us. Thank you so much. Poster Uganda, these ones are actually even hosts. We thank you, represented by Mr. James Arini Itwe, the Managing Director himself. Let's clap for him. Thank you. One of our areas of location is Poster Uganda. We have Financial Intelligence Authority.
Purchase your tracks today.
Thank you so much. May we now have the top management of URSB join. Senior management, that's a broader one, please. Senior management, please come and join this historic photo. That is the senior management team of Uganda Registration Services Bureau. We shall then be guided after a small, while the senior management team of URSB is in front, the Registrar General will hand over the signed copy of the strategic plan to the chief guest, while in the company of her senior team, the team that runs the show with her. So Dennis, let's make sure, senior man, don't leave. Our boss, our team leader is handing over on our behalf to the chief guest. Thank you. That is our commitment. We thank you so much. Now, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. We need now to have a general photo, a group photo for everyone.
Purchase your tracks today.
Yes, we're going to take now a group photo where all of us are participants. Let's move towards the center. Thank you so much. Thank you, our partners. Thank you, chief guest. Colleagues, let's stand up and participate and join in the group photo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, let's join in the middle. Let's go towards the center, please. This is when you pull off the biggest smile for URSP. Imagine where we shall be 5 years from now and smile. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The team will now hand over. Make sure you give every participant a copy of the Madam Araji, we beg. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming. We thank you. We celebrate you. Thank you. DJ. We'll now proceed for the press briefing. Okay. So in case you want the copy, just scan that QR code and you get a copy, but there are also hard copies. We can give you the actual hard copy. Faith.
Purchase your tracks today.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are even more privileged to have the representative of the Governor Bank of Uganda. The Governor Bank of Uganda, we thank you so much. We are delighted to have you. Thank you. Feel free to interact. URSB staff share more information with our guests. We thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you all.